why there's a struggle around local food, because we're in it and we're struggling.
We have so much land that's sitting empty, and we really just have a handful of farmers right now who are working really hard to change that system, but we need more.
Being able to grow your own ingredients and then be able to cook with those ingredients, there's just so much more passion and more excitement about that.
Huge scale farming, a lot of times it's being like exported, or else you have no idea where it's going and what it's going into.
We're going to find a way to do this because we're in and we believe in this project. So it's going to happen. It's just a matter of how it's going to happen. You know, why it's so hard is because the way our food culture has shifted into monocultures and big box stores and everything has treated food like it's a commodity. It's a race to the bottom. The cheapest thing wins, and is that thing on sale? If it's not on sale, don't buy it. Those types of scenarios are not healthy for our food culture. So it's hard because we compete with a system that we can never compete with, but it's important because it's the right way. It's the way it should be.
I think especially this scale of farming is really important because it all of a sudden, you could see where food's going. You can see it going directly to the kitchen and it being chopped up and it being like canned or pickled. With like huge scale farming, a lot of times it's being like exported, or else you have no idea what it's going into. We just planted cilantro in here. It should be kind of good from here on out, just with the cooler temperatures. And with the drip lines, these beds stay pretty cool, so they thrive in that condition. This would be more of a herb farm. A lot of our main staples are here as well, with the tomatillos, the pickles, strawberries, and a lot of the yarrow, coriander, as well as the bees are here. So a lot of the flowers are here.
I feel like it's just going to pop up here. It seems like...
Yeah, I feel like it feels less threatening.
I think the goal would be in like 5 years, we could grow 100% of everything. And we started kind of coming out here and thinking about this idea of what if this was actually part of our business, and you know, not just something on the side, but something we actually like invested some time and people into. We think this is a way that we can encourage others to see the same possibilities in having a farm.
And thinking about what our business could do for the community really changes your mindset around why do we exist in the first place. And this old idea for so long, you know, businesses exist for profit, you know, and that's the main reason. It doesn't have to be that way anymore. It shouldn't be that way anymore. With very little information and just a bunch of passion and ideas, tried something. And you know, from growing grain in a region that people don't grow grain in, and finding combines to harvest it, and working through all the logistics of that, and then being there that day to watch it get harvested, this beautiful, you know, Copeland malting barley, watching an idea that's driven by, you know, the passion and the interest in doing something unique, and then watching it come to fruition is really, really cool.
Copeland. So these will go through a process. Each individual kernel will be sifted through, put into the combine, taken to a cleaner. We're going to clean it and kind of take out any kind of bugs or dirt that are in it. And then we're going to haul it back here and get it dried and let it sit until it's ready for malting. Gonna make a lot of good beers out of this.
Yeah. You know, the passion behind Fieldhouse is trying to grow and create a lot of our own ingredients and really showcasing what the Fraser Valley has to offer. We're in the hub of agriculture, so it just seemed like a no-brainer to try and grow our own malt. So what we see right here is our first attempt at growing barley. So being able to grow our own barley and then be able to brew with that barley is very exciting.
So, welcome to the brewery. Just priming the mash tun so it's nice and warm. This is sort of the beginning of the whole process. Into the mill here. It goes to the grist hopper, which is essentially a giant holding tank for the whole recipe. It comes down through here and into the mash tun. It's going to go through our heat exchanger. It's going to cool down to around 20 degrees. It's going to come up here. It's going to go into one of these fermenters. This is where we're going to add our yeast. And the yeast is what's going to eat the sugars and turn into alcohol. And then once it's ready, we'll transfer into the bright tank. We'll carbonate it, and then we'll either go on tap or get sent to the liquor store.
It was a real struggle. There was real tears. This thing might not happen, and what have we done, basically? You know, through the ashes, keep plugging away if you want to get something done and believe it and have good people that you're working with. And it comes around, you know, and it came around.
Yeah.
First barley harvest. Oh, that's so good.
That is really good.
Real.
We started with a bit of food. Although it was very simple, it was still intentionally meant to be local and connected to the community. I don't think we would have built a food program like had we not met Bonnie.
From the very beginning, I knew I wasn't going to go start a food program somewhere working directly with big trucks. I kind of wanted to do the same thing with the food program, crafting as many ththings by hand from scratch in that kitchen, using as many local ingredients as possible.
We are at Maple Lanes. We are picking weeds. There's just so many rows, it's hard to stay on top of it, so we have some extra hands today. We've got cabbage, carrots, beets over here, kale, peppers, another row of cabbage, cilantro, and we have potatoes way on that far side.
We thought, hey, why not get to like the next level of sourcing our food? Let's actually try to do this ourselves. It kind of all came together at that moment, and we decided to really make it go and make this a business model and see if we could have a farm.
Doing good things is a viable business strategy, and I want people to know that is. I want us to be a good business, and I want us to be successful, so people will say that's a good thing to do. That's a good model to follow. You know, we want to be able to give our people the right tools to work with and be part of a great industry. And we're definitely not there yet, but those are the things I hope we get to, because that would be a great reason for, you know, a food concept to exist, is to like help shift the culture. So many people don't realize that, and if we don't get more people on board, you know, they're never going to realize that potential of what local food is and how valuable it is.
With a man with fingers the sky, oh sit down, oh sit in.
Probably the first main struggle we had with opening this business was that, like any new business, we were figuring out things on the fly, and you know, we went to traditional, you know, banking partners to get financing for opening a business, which is a necessary part to open a business at, you know, even this scale, which isn't even a huge business. And you know, being told by the big banks like it's no problem, everything's in place, and then really having the carpet pulled out from under us at, you know, like 8 weeks to opening and saying that your loan wasn't submitted properly, it's not been approved, and we're not sure why, but I'm sorry. That's a really unnerving feeling when you've got, you know, a lot of money and a lot of time invested in something. I remember someone saying to me, well, what happens if you like don't get the money? And it wasn't an option at that point. Probably the lowest moment in the process was, I remember standing in this back corner in a foot of water because we re-roofed the building and it poured rain that week. It was like ground zero, water everywhere, no roof on the building half torn apart. It was really hard to believe that this was going to be something good. It was just so far away from what we wanted it to be, and it was a real struggle. I think that's something we talk about when we have someone new join our team. I always try to make sure people understand that this is like gone way beyond my original intentions. This is now a collective of people with ideas that are happening in real time, and that's a big thing for people to understand, is that they get to contribute to what this business becomes. It's our collective efforts. It's not my efforts anymore. I just started the project, and everybody else is part of keeping it going and part of, you know, finishing it. We want to see this move from the transactional relationship of buying food to like a real, true food movement. We would like to see people really getting behind what our local food's about and being really proud of that, and really invested in that. And that benefits us, it benefits the farmers, it benefits, you know, the other people that are passionate about local food here. And those are hard to create, but I mean, they start somewhere, right? And I think we have all the potential to do that in our community.
It's been a pretty wild year trying to run a farm, or 3 farms. So it just felt like we needed to celebrate it, and you know, have all of you guys here that have worked so hard and have supported us along the way and encouraged us and given us land, and yeah, it's a pretty beautiful thing. And for this menu, we just looked at every ingredient that was coming from the farms and we just made a menu out of it. So it's totally vegetarian, everything is 100% just grown from your guys' land, which is pretty neat. So we appreciate all of you guys a lot. Fieldhouse crew, everyone has just like supported so much, it's so great. So excited to see what the next chapter holds. Yeah. Yeah.
Yes. You didn't get one yet.
Oh, is that the rosé?
We want to surprise people with food. We want to inspire them with food. We want to change people's minds around what food can be in this community, and I think that's where food plays a huge role in our local culture.
I think we're really just being propelled forward by this vision about farm to table. You know, if we can prove that this is not only possible, but sustainable, and not only sustainable, but gives so much life, we can create a bit more of a shift to change the face of farming and be able to actually do what we're really passionate about.
If we want great food on a plate, or we want to experience it, and we don't create environments for that to happen, it's hard for us to understand how that's ever going to change.
I can be a man, be big and tough. For you, darling, that won't be enough. I would learn to move mountains, and I learned to part the sea. Whatever you want, whatever you need, you're the light in the tunnel when I'm feeling gray. You're the sun peeking through on that cold winter day. And if I could change a thing, you know, nothing would be changed. 'Cause I love you so, and I'm glad you came.